Hello, welcome back. Thanks for joining. In this stream, I am going to continue the Pomodoro project. So if you weren't here last time, we added DynamoDB integration. So we were able to make a to-do list API to get to-do items, create them, update them, delete them, CRUD operations. And that was the first time we were able to get DynamoDB into the project, which was pretty exciting. There's still a lot more I need to do, including hooking up authentication with DynamoDB and many other things. But for tonight, it's already getting pretty late, but I wanted to make just a little bit of progress on the project. And the progress that I would love to get done tonight is to get AWS Lambda hooked into, is to make my backend run on Lambda, making it serverless style so that it can be up there and I don't have to pay anything unless others hit it. I think that would be ideal. Shall we get started? Let's do it. I'm going to say I don't want to stay up past 2 a.m. That's already super late. But we'll see how long it takes. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to get AWS Lambda up. So let's get started. Let's see, where's my project? Okay, so I think the first thing we need to do is probably bring up the backend again. Yeah, we're going to need to do that because we're going to need to add a Lambda in Terraform. So first we need to log in. So log in. And Bitwarden is so nice. Does all of it. Okay, allow access. You can close this window. Sounds good. And we're logged into the console. Now we can say Terraform. I'm just going to say, we don't really need to say init. I'm going to skip it actually. Normally I say init, but let's do Terraform apply. We are in the infrastructure folder. That's good. So we're just going to bring everything back up. Yes. We're starting to accumulate a lot of stuff. What we have so far is API gateway for a WebSocket, serverless WebSockets. We have Cognito for logging in, and we have a DynamoDB table, which we had last time. Using a single table design. So there's only one table in there. There's also an IAM user that only has access to that table. And I'm contemplating if I should make another user. Probably not, but well, we'll see. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is we need to make the actual Lambda itself. So let's go to the plan. Of course, recently we've been using ChatGPT to help create all the stuff, or as my friend likes to say it, ChatGPT. Thanks, Carrie. Let's see. I want to make a Lambda to host my Swift. Why am I typing? Okay, that's so much faster just to talk. I want to make an AWS Lambda to host my Swift Vapor backend. What would the Terraform script look like? As a Lambda deployment package, create an S3 bucket for the. Or do you want to create an S3 bucket, but for later? Maybe not for Lambda. Upload the Lambda deployment package to the S3 bucket. I don't think I want to do that. Create an API gateway to expose the Lambda function. I don't know if I want to do that yet. Create the necessary IAM roles and policies. That sounds reasonable. Let's see. S3 for Lambda deploy. I've never done that approach before. Normally, I usually just upload it zip file directly. This is using a Lambda to trigger events, to react to events, which is not exactly what I wanted. Okay, let's tell ChatGPT to fix it a little bit. I actually don't want to upload to S3. I wanted to zip the project and upload it to Lambda directly. Without using S3. Okay, so assume role, allow. Okay, so it's creating a execution role, which is interesting. Here's the policy for the log groups. Okay, that makes sense. So that means the Lambda can create logs. And the Lambda can also, wow, that's kind of smart, write to the main table. Can do anything to the main table. That's not. I mean, this is going to be a little bit trickier than I was hoping. Instead of using API gateway, can we use Lambda function URL? I think that's what it's called. Like Lambda gives you a URL directly. And I kind of want to do that just to simplify it a little bit. Path, DynamoDB table. Okay. Sounds reasonable. Lambda permission, function URL. Perfect. There we go. Look, authorization type. Yeah, none. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I'm going to do, because we're authorizing inside of the Lambda right now. Okay, we are getting there. We are getting there. So let's just do this right now. We'll do new file lambda.tf. Save that, close that, and then as always we double check again. I know we just read it. Lambda execution role. So this is the role that Lambda will assume while it's executing. Now the first thing it does is it states that it allows whatever this is attached to. It allows it to do a STS. I forgot what it stands for. To assume a role, which I guess is maybe there's another role or something. It's a role that allows you to assume a role. And the principal is Lambda. So that means Lambda can assume the role, maybe? This execution policy allows it to write to the logs, and it can write to anything. That's questionable. I think it should be specific. It also allows it to do anything to the DynamoDB table. I think all that should also be specific. I still don't want it to scan. And then we attach the policy to the role. Okay, so we're creating a role and a policy, and then we're attaching the policy to the role. We create the Lambda function here, Vapor Lambda function. Sure, fine for now. Path to your Lambda. Might want to change that. Runtime. What is this? And does it explain it? Source code hash ensures Terraform can redeploy if necessarily. Okay. AL2. It also means that the latest version. Okay. I mean, so AL these are all images of what the images or containers of what Lambda can run on. Depending on the container or image, you can get different functionalities, such as if you wanted to run Python code or Ruby code or Node or Java or all that, you know, these runtimes support that. There's also the AL2 one, which supports these runtimes. No, that's not how I'm reading it. These are all runtimes. What? So, what is this saying? Yes, developers can now take advantage, or in that you can say runtime equals custom runtimes. Okay, so you can pick different runtimes. Provided.al2, Amazon Linux 2 can run Swift. I'm not actually sure if we want to do that. We'll try it out. But the problem is path to your Lambda. All right, a little bit more changes. There are a few changes I wanted to make. For the logging, please specify a specific log stream and create that so that the Lambda cannot write to any stream. Also, for the DynamoDB policy, please explicitly state which actions it allows. I don't want it to scan. Finally, please make the location of the zip file in the same folder. Sure, let's send it. I probably could talk faster than that. Okay, so assume role, and there's a log group called Vapor Lambda function, retention 14 days. Good. We're creating a stream. And here we are saying that we allow these on that specific log group, which is great. Wow, here's all the actions to the main table. This is what I wanted to see. All explicit ones, and I can like change it if I wanted to. Path to your zip file. Perfect. Yeah. This, okay, I'm liking this more. I'm liking this. What's this? Why is there a Lambda function payload here? I am pretty confused. I think this was from... oh, right. This is from the API Gateway web serverless WebSockets. Almost forgot about that. Okay, so let's read this one more time. Always got to check the new code. Okay, so we got an execution role that allows the Lambda to assume another role. The other role will be listed further down, I think. We're creating a log group and a log stream explicitly /AWS/Lambda/Vapor Lambda function. That's good. The name of the Vapor log stream is Vapor Lambda log stream. That's good. Execution policy makes it so we only allow those actions on that stream or on the log group. I don't know if making a log stream is necessary. That's fine. Still a little bit curious, skeptical about the stars here because I thought it had to be for a specific region. Maybe not. That's okay for now. Lambda_package.zip is fine. Change to your handler main table. Lambda package.zip. None. Authorization type none. Function name is that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, I can probably type this myself, but give me an output of I wonder if it's faster if I just typed it out. Oh, geez, why? I want to stop it and test it again. Okay, now it's really lagging. Only give me the output. There we go. That's what I wanted. It's fast when it gives you exactly what you want and not all the extra stuff. I gotta fix it. I gotta change its memory. Okay, so now when we run this, we should have the Vapor Lambda URL, but now the problem is we need the zip file. Okay, so how do we create the zip file? Well, we're gonna go to our backend and zip it, which I think it has some instructions here. So let's, for now, manually try this out. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so here is the backend. So I guess I can, yeah, let's just run Swift build, see what happens. So as soon as I see Lambda, as soon as I can hit a URL and it runs our code, I'll be happy. I think I have to clean up a little bit more after that to make sure like the build process is fine and what else? I don't know. More stuff. But if I can see that, I'll be happy. Because I think one big part is I will need to... The plan for doing this is that I'm planning to use AWS's, or is it Vapor? I think Vapor has like a AWS Lambda wrapper. And the idea is we take our Vapor backend and we just put this wrapper around it. And what it does is it converts like Lambda style, maybe API gateway, but Lambda style requests into regular HTTP requests and also transforms the responses back into Lambda responses. So that way it your code just doesn't have to change and it can work with Lambda because Lambda doesn't, it returns formats in more than just HTTP requests and responses. The data that goes through it looks a specific way. So it needs to be converted into something that Vapor can understand. This is actually taking a lot longer than I thought. Why is it taking this long? So here's a dot build. Pre-concurrency. Okay, well, while that's building, I don't know how long it's going to take, but while that's building, let me see if I have notes here. Okay, so we've done that. I want to play around with Bedrock, AWS Bedrock. That's generative AI technology there. That would be pretty cool. I also want to make an S3 endpoint. I think the S3 one will be before Bedrock. When making mobile apps, I'm envisioning uploading files and downloading files. So S3 is going to be critical. The Bedrock stuff, that can come later. That's not as important to me right now. But the other important thing is the infrastructure to host the backend. So there's this project. Swagger spec generation I'd really like to have, but not as important right now, especially right now. But here's the project. Lambda runtime. Run your app on AWS Lambda. It includes communication between that and the Vapor framework. So there is another framework here. This is actually by, I don't know who that's by. The library is an implementation of the AWS Lambda runtime API and uses embedded asynchronous. That's fine-tuned. Use async. So this is actually how it looks. Simple Lambda handler. Lambda actually gets it in this format here. So you get a request and context, Lambda context. And I guess you return a response, which is in a different format than like a HTTP response. Or is it this one? Event context. It's something like that. Anyways, it needs to convert. And this wrapper will help do that. API gateway requests are transformed into that. I might need to add API gateway again. That's unfortunate, but that's fine. This is interesting because that's not the current one where we're at. And then we have to add this as a dependency. So then when we create the simple app, I don't think it's using it yet. But this. Okay, that looks simple enough. And this is funny. Everything I'm doing is always proof of concept or not production ready. That's the state of what we're in right now. Which is unfortunate. I was hoping Swift on the back end would be a lot further, and like everything I'm doing looks like it's working so far. Cool. Okay, so build complete. I wonder how big this is. It's. I think it's that actually. Does it say where it built? I think normally it says where it's built in the package.swift sometimes. Normally. I mean, it's just called app. Cool. So this is already running. So I'll stop that. Hey. How did I get my credentials? Probably because of the AWS SSO stuff. Does it work? Let's use Insomnia. Wow. Which one did I do? Good. Something went wrong. Well, it's probably so. Normally I have some replace me's in there. I think it's for Cognito. Did that work? Anyways, I think this hello one is good enough. That's all I really want right now. Okay, so I feel like we're partially there. Part way there. So where's ChatGPT? Of course it restarted. Come on. I was reading somewhere. The LLMs are going to take more and more resources to do. Oh wait. So computing will be scarce. Computing power. Because imagine, it's like if you can answer any question in the world, you just need enough compute power to solve stuff. You're going to want a lot of computing power. Okay, so I hit hello a couple of times. Valid credentials cannot be sourced by the IMDS provider. I don't know, but that's fine. Check it out. All right, so we're going to move that to the infrastructure one for now. There we go. Lambda package. Okay. Pretty happy about that. Now, are we in a good place to run it? Sure. Let's run it. I don't think it's going to work because we didn't use the wrapper yet. Okay, so we'll do Terraform, apply. Let's see if that works. Okay, 8 to add, 0 to change. Okay, so we're going to add a permission to allow public access. Interesting. That's fine. Because I do want it to be... do I want it? Yeah, I think... That's interesting. I think I want it to be open. Okay. Let's try it out. So I'll create a Lambda function URL. Buffered. It will create this Lambda. It will create an attachment. So it attaches a role and a policy. Here's the role, there's the policy, and also log streams. Yeah, that's fine. Let's try it out. You think this works? Of course not. Because the server, it needs a wrap earlier. But I think that's a great, I mean, like we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. So let's check out the console and maybe the logs. So you just go to Lambda. We should have 1. We have 2. Oh yeah, I guess the second one's for API Gateway, the other one. So here it is. Build a simple web app consisting of a Lambda function with a function URL that outputs a web page. Invoke your function through its function URL. It's too large. How big is it actually? "11 megabytes. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's right there too. Okay, that's fine. Amazon Linux 2 main is the handler. Architecture, ideally... Wait. What is it built for? Let's try it out. Fine. Ooh, there's a new one. Let's try it out. I don't actually know. I think it's built for ARM64. I only say that because I'm on Apple Silicon right now. It says ARM64. So let's try it out. I mean, we're still we're still gonna need the runtime. Oh god, that's a pain. But we'll do it. We have to. Okay, so we don't have any layers. Test. Monitor. Let's check the CloudWatch logs. See if they say anything and how that looks. Because we created a couple. Oh, I went directly there. We got the echo function. We got the Lambda function. Yeah, this is the one I wanted. Wow, and we have stuff. Yeah, you don't need to create the stream because it creates the streams automatically. This is pointless. But with that being said... Perfect. This is actually... I think this is exactly what I wanted to see. Couldn't find valid bootstraps. Invalid entry point. Perfect. And then here's the previous ones. It's probably going to say something. Invalid entry point. Yep. Okay, this is good. Now this is where this comes into play. All I have to do is add this, rebuild it, re-upload the zip, and boom goes the dynamite. I don't know why that came to mind. Okay. Let's bring the music back. And this looks pretty straightforward. So my plan is I'm just gonna add this and see if it works. I'm assuming it's not gonna work, and we're gonna have to add API gateway, but we'll handle that one by one. So I'll do this first. So the way to do that is, let's go, here's the back end. Let's go to the package.swift. We're going to add this package as a dependency. I'm gonna actually fix this. How old has this been? 3 years ago. Jeez. This has not been updated. This is a little bit more recent. I know this is just a talk in a language that I'm not familiar with. Looks like Spanish. Potentially Portuguese, but it looks like Spanish. I'm just looking for examples, really. Because what these guys use is they use this one directly, it looks like. So now I'm a little bit curious if I should use this or just go directly to this one, because this one, wow, it has been updated. So this, I feel like this is a little bit more promising. And their recommendation is do this next encounter. And no, I don't think I want to do this anymore. They give you direct access to the Lambda context, the Lambda handler. But that's not what I want, I don't think. Okay, fine. Let's do this approach. So we'll do that up to the next major. Wow. I don't know. Not getting a good feeling about this. This is a pretty old project. But it doesn't look like I have any other choice. I wonder if I have to maintain this. Oh. Let's just try to use it first. Okay, so we add that. Let's go back here. We're gonna copy this line, put that into the target here, save that, save it again, add a comma, save it one last time. And what's gonna happen is in Xcode, we go to the backend and take a look to see it downloading. I didn't actually see it downloading, but we have this now, and we also should have this one. Cool. So that's probably good enough for now. And this could get a little bit tricky, but We will do this. Let's go to, this looks like they're doing it en route. No. App.run. Okay, so is that the entry point? Is it this one? App.execute? Because we're bootstrapping the logging system. We create an application. Yeah, we have app, and then what we say, app.servers. To enable run, we need to change the serve command. Then we can start the app by calling app.run. What? All right, let's just try this. Vapor AWS Lambda. We can try compiling that. Yeah, let's just try building it. I mean, that's what they said. I'm not sure if this still exists. Probably should have just did T. Oh man, I don't want to use API Gateway right now. Nothing's wrong with it, it's just I wanted to avoid it if possible. Ooh, products. Okay, so what's the problem here? Vapor AWS Lambda runtime Vapor. We're on 6.2. This is exactly what we were looking for, and we are getting the product for Vapor AWS Lambda runtime. I'll copy this one more time. Go back to package. Some of these have .git, some of them don't. I think it's okay. There's no change. Do I have to clean it? And also resolve, because why not? Starting to get fatigued. Might need to continue again next time. Hey, I think the error went away. Oh, I see. We're not out of the woods yet. So if this works, then I compile, re-upload the zip, see what happens. Oops, sorry. Keep on punching the mic. And while we are waiting for it to compile, let's just see what happened. Like, see how it works. I feel like that's a great way to figure out stuff. Oh my goodness, look at that. API Gateway. Okay, so we extend the application so that it has a .lambda, and then Lambda just has an application that has, okay, I don't understand this. Config Lambda server, request source, API gateway, version 2, load balancer. Okay, so there's nothing. Man. There's nothing that says function URL. It's like newer. Here's one thing I want to check. So if we test this and let's go to template. Is it? Yeah. Check it out. So we have a lot of API gateway stuff. Typically, I'm most familiar with the API gateway. I think proxy. Yeah. I wonder if they have the function URL example. So this is, so check it out. If you do a AWS proxy, your Lambda will get something very similar to this in the event parameter. A lot of stuff. So basically the wrapper will convert this into a standard HTTP request that's accepted by Vapor. And it knows this because there's a lot of information about the request itself. For example, you have the path, resource path, you know what HTTP method it is. Here's all the headers. Yeah, here's all the headers. Oh, sorry, here's all the headers. Stage, like there's just so much information here, so it just converts it. Usually it includes the body as well. Here's the body encoded. Base64 encoded. Oh. Okay, that worked. What? What? I'm wondering what the difference is between run and execute. I wonder if they changed it. Oh, wow. Vapor is on the Swift website. And that's the same message. Let's just try it out, shall we? And then here. Run this, that takes a little while, and then we zip it. And I'm just gonna upload it manually for now. In the meantime, format, event. Okay, function URL is dedicated HTTPS endpoints for your Lambda function. You can create and configure a function through the console. Or it automatically generates a unique URL endpoint. Once you have that, it never changes. Function URL endpoints have the following formats. That looks good. Not supported in some places. That's fine. They're dual stack, supporting both IPv4 and IPv6. After you configure one, you can invoke it through the HTTPS endpoint. Through that, you can only access through the public internet. That's fine. They don't support private link. While Lambda functions do support that, URLs do not. They use resource-based policies for access. They also support cores. That's fine. You can apply functions URL to any alias or to the latest. You can't add a function URL to any other function version, okay? Invoking. You must sign each request. We're not using that auth type, so that's okay. If it uses none, you don't have to sign your request. You can invoke your using a web browser. That's good. To test it, you can do get. Here's the payloads. When your client calls your function, Lambda maps the request to an event object before. Yep, it's mapped through an HTTP response. Follows the same schema as the API gateway payload. This is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Yes. So it should work, and it's version 2.0. Cool. Okay, this is helpful. This is helpful. This is great. Great. Okay, so we built it. Here it is, infrastructure. So actually, I'm just gonna upload this. Let's just upload and see what happens. Okay, so we've uploaded it. Let's test it out. Okay, well, that's not good. So this is the latest one. We're at 31 minutes, which is just now. Okay. I need a physical mute button. Okay, so is it because I didn't use run? I don't know. Let's try it out. Oh, this one's an old one. Is it because it's compiled for the wrong platform? This is going to be interesting to find out. Okay, so it looks like there's a file command that I can, oops. File app. It's ARM64. I wonder how big that file was. That's fine. Okay, so that's that. Can I use API Gateway v2? Wow, this is so old. Is no one managing this project? It's like a year ago. I feel like we're close. Okay, let's think through this a little bit. So this changed. We've recompiled it. And the main thing we've added was app.servers.use Lambda, which is a Vapor function that does provider.run the application. So it takes a provider, which is a server, which is sendable, and it so Lambda is a provider, and in the init function, the run function, it calls server.use it, and it uses the single, that's not a singleton. It might be a singleton. It's shared. So it creates a new Lambda server. This is similar to the code we just saw. It looks like by default the request source is API Gateway v2. See, it looks like it should have worked. No. Wait, did we modify it 25 minutes ago? That can't be right. 7 minutes ago. There we go. Is the handler called main? Maybe I want this one instead. What's the handler? What is the handler called? I don't even know where I'm at anymore. It's so late. Is there any more assistance on this? What about there's no wiki? Great, just great. How are people supposed to figure out how to use this? I know how. Yes, ChatGPT. How do I use the repo? What is the handler name? Here's the main function. And your run target to use the lambda.run function. Do we ever configure it? Here. So what I'm hearing is don't initialize an application. Have lambda.run initialize it for you. So it should have updated here, run.main. So let's just try that out for now. Let's not change this for now. Okay, that did not work. Did it? Wait. Is it different? I think it's different. Are we getting somewhere? I'm just gonna change that for no specific reason. Of course that's not gonna work. Okay, so according to ChatGPT, run.main, this is because the main attribute on the app struct defines the entry point, and run is the default name for the executable target. That's not the name for mine. Mine is called app. Would it be funny if this worked? I can't tell. It's like haha funny or well, it would have been more funny if it worked. It's interesting. The latest ones, so let's see, these are the later ones. Couldn't find valid bootstrap. That's interesting because I feel like it changed. And why is this an enum? Maybe it's so you can't create any instance of it? Interesting. Okay, so what does this do? Cool. Okay. Of course that's not gonna work. And then, but I wanted to see, yeah, I created a new one. So this is the new one here. This is different. Oh, that one's not different. Okay, so that's not it. One more idea. What about this one? Because, you know, entry point dot main. Huh. Please. API Swift AWS Lambda handler name. Use your API. What? Did I skip something? Yeah. Okay, so what I wanted to check was the function here. It's an image. They have policies, environment variables, events, API. Huh. Metadata. Use your API. Because the main attribute on the discern the and run is a default name for the executable target. Swift AWS Lambda tutorial. I'm starting to get desperate now. Docker. Wait. Of course, download the starter project. Okay, this part's interesting here. Lambda.run. I guess it's worth a shot. Why does it keep on saying in your run target? My target's name is... Those are old. Is it called app? What is it called? Pomodoro backend. I've already tried app, so... And does it still mean... I'm gonna say it's gonna be worth it to check every single time, because if we see something slightly different, we know we're onto something. Unfortunately, it's not the same cannot find values. Unfortunately, it's not different. Swift Lambda. Okay. Oh. This seems like a very important detail. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check what command do we... Okay, I'm just gonna zip it up again, but manually this time. I'll do it manually, and then the automatic part is nice. Okay, the automatic part will come later. Okay, so check it out. How big is that? Wow, 45. Wow. It's all the way down to 12. That's insane. How? Man, compression algorithms are fascinating. Don't know how they work. Let's see if that works. But isn't my file name Bootstrap? Wow, this is super helpful. This is like the main way I learned how to program, is like you bash your head against a problem for a long time, and then you finally realize and find the documentation that explains exactly what's going on. I'm like, thanks, this would have been helpful to know. You know, I don't really want to read through all of the documentation to eventually realize, you know, when I get to this situation, that's what I'm supposed to do. That seems inefficient. I mean, I think this is probably the best way to learn. You kind of just do it. Learn as you go. Nothing wrong with that. Oh. That's getting somewhere. What? Initialization tasks. The standard format is file.method, where file is the name of the file without the extension, and method is the name of the method function that's defined in the file. Is an executable file named Bootstrap, which can be the runtime, or can invoke another file that creates the runtime. If the root doesn't contain that, Lambda looks for a file in the functions layers. Ooh, response streaming. That's cool. I don't want to build a custom runtime. Swift, Bootstrap, AWS, Lambda. Okay. This is kind of cool. I wonder, maybe I can test it this way. Test. Right. What does that mean? And here it says use SAM init. It says use SAM init. We're doing, or they're doing 8664 architecture. You're trying to run ARM64 on, or vice versa. So does that mean I should try to change it? We can try. Why do I have to do that? Sure, let's try it out. That's the same message. I wonder if Q can help. Looks like the same message. Maybe this will be the faster way. Yeah. Okay, it's 2. And I still want to figure this out. But it also is getting late. Okay, so there's a couple of things I could try. For example, try a wait lambda run. Could try that. And if that doesn't work, then I don't know. So maybe I'll just do this. How do we put the environment? Also, I don't know. I don't think we need that because we have this. No, I don't believe it. Felt pretty fast. Format error. Let's check some of the configuration. I think it might have been, I mean, like, this doesn't really matter at all, but I just wanted to make sure this is the lowest. That's also pretty low. Existing role is fine. I'm getting low on ideas right now. I mean, another idea is potentially trying to build x86. Although it is ARM, so it should have worked. Docker. Build it for the Lambda environment. Docker run, so it's a specific one. I mean, that's definitely something to try. Basically, it's building the project in a Docker. What else do they do here? It's interesting how I can select text from an image. In the handler field, you can fill in whatever you want. Since this is not used by our runtime. Oh, that doesn't matter. Okay. That explains a lot. Okay. I think I know what I need to do. And by that, I mean I have absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to do. Swift build x86 64. On ARM. On M1. On Apple Silicon. Because I believe you can do that in Go. Just not sure about Swift. Oh. Really? That's annoying. Okay, I mean, I think that's pretty much explains it. We're gonna need to run it in Docker, basically. That's unfortunate. Build verbose, quiet, sandbox, enable, keychain, resolver, enable signature. Configuration, build, debug, nope. So what I'm looking for is if there's anything that says explicitly architecture, something that allows me to specify x86 or Linux or something. Swift build Linux. Wow, is this really the only solution? This one's interesting. Swift make Linux build. Xcode doesn't cross-compile for non-Apple, nor does it run within a Linux environment. Yep, that's the problem there. Most everyone uses a Linux virtual machine or Docker image to compile and run code on Linux using a macOS host computer. Multipass is one such virtual machine environment, not really an emulation since the basic instruction set is the same. Since Multipass has a command line under Darwin, conceivably you could build an Xcode run script that runs a series of commands to Multipass, or add an external makefile. Xcode behaviors. It should be possible. That's what I'm thinking. Just as others have from macOS to Android. Yeah, I wonder how that works. Wait. Actually, how does that work? Tools directory, SDK, and wants to do this from within Xcode. How long ago is this? It's like 4 years ago. Yes. What's destination? I just refuse to believe that that's the only option. I mean, I kind of believe that's the only option. I'm just hoping there's an alternative. Which is interesting because there's no way I could have read the Amazon documentation and figured that out, right? Unless someone has a specific note on it. However, this is the most helpful one. The recommended way to build server app is with SPM. SwiftPM provides a cross-platform foundation. Integrated Xcode. You can build your code either by running Swift build from the terminal or triggered by the build action in Xcode. Swift binaries are architecture specific, so running the build command from on macOS will create a macOS binary, and similarly, running command on Linux will Docker is a useful tool. I think this will work. Whoa. Wait. Wait. What? Can I just do this? If you want to run the Swift compiler for Intel CPUs on a M1, let's try this out, shall we? I guess this is a Docker command. So it's after code. Working directory inside the container. Okay. So what's V? Volume. There's no /code directory. Let's just run it. Let's just run it and see. All right, let's start Docker. Is that gonna work? Oh, unable to find it locally. So then it pulls it. And whoa. Did it do it? Did it do it? Is it this one? I think it kind of worked. I guess Docker, the Docker option's not that bad. Still running though. This is also interesting because I don't actually want x86 64. Want ARM. Whatever. Is that it? Did it work? Did it work? It's called app, right? What's it called here? Okay, so it was on build release. App. Okay, I'm gonna delete that and try again. What if we don't do that? Oh, cool. Yeah, I think we need to add it. Actually, what is going on? It's continuing. So I'm still a little bit concerned about this. This reminds me of an issue that I was dealing with putting a Unity game server inside of a Docker. It was an interesting problem, but there was like a missing dependency on some C++ files or headers or something like that. This is not what I want. I think I saw some stuff going. I'll give it a few more minutes and then I'm gonna call it because it's getting late. We'll continue again next time, maybe tomorrow. But I think we learned a lot. Like, I learned that if you run Swift build, it's built for the platform that you're building it on. So if you want to build it for Linux, you have to run it in Linux in Docker. That's gonna be interesting. We're gonna need to put that somewhere. Didn't realize our project would depend on Docker all of a sudden. But that's fine. We do what we gotta do. Okay, I don't know what it's doing. So I'm just gonna pretend that it's stuck. I'm gonna let it keep. It's not doing anything. It was stuck there. It was only on 10. I kind of like specifying it more. But anyways, we'll come back to that later. Yeah, we'll come back to that later. For now, I'm gonna shut down our infrastructure. Let's make sure that we're still logged in. Oh, and this is cool. Not too important. But as always, we clean up everything, so leave no trace behind. But that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. I gotta go to bed. Gotta work tomorrow. But I think we made a lot of progress. Learned a lot. I learned how the function URLs work. The big thing here is learning how that Swift build is platform specific, and that we're going to need Docker to build. So once we do that, we can build it, zip it, upload it again, try it one more time. The handler doesn't matter, and I think it should, I feel like it should start working. Well, we'll hit other problems probably, but that's for tomorrow. But thanks again for joining, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.